I like throwing a curveball at the beginning of every interview. And with directors and with writer-directors, I like asking, if you could get the financing to make anything you want tomorrow, what's that project you would love to make?
Oh, man. Well, I have to say this is not the most original answer, but it's one that I've thought about for a long time, and many great directors have chased and failed, which is Creature from the Black Lagoon, which I just hugely influential movie to me. It's also like, you got to have the right take. And I actually kind of do have something like, I think that version of it could be kind of interesting and could actually be scary. I think Guillermo del Toro did Shape of Water, which is the more like the Beauty and the Beast mythos, and it's more the romantic part of that. What I love about that story, but I'm like, Guillermo did that. So I don't want to touch his approach. I'd have to like take a different angle on like what I love about that franchise or that movie. But yeah, that's off the top of my head. That's one. Sure.
I read that back in 2014 when you were doing the short version of this, you filmed it in Michelle Branch's backyard.
This is true.
And
that's her cat too, by the way.
Right. So my question is, how the F did you end up in her backyard to make the short film?
So co-director of Night Swim, Rod Blackhurst, fellow filmmaker, good friend. He was friends with her, and I don't exactly remember how, but she just graciously was like, yeah, like you can use our pool. And I was like, oh, okay, I guess we're shooting at Michelle Branch's house now. All right, cool. So that was that simple, just a friend of a friend. Yeah.
It's definitely not, anyway. That's a cool little tidbit.
It is a little tidbit, yeah.
So one of the things about horror movies, when I was a kid, when kids watch horror movies, they can affect you in real life. For example, Poltergeist, I refused to look under my bed for a very long time.
That clown.
Yeah.
God save us.
Totally messed me up. So I'm curious, what did you see as a child that actually, or even recently, that actually affected you where you're like, yeah, that's a permanent change in real life?
Okay, so this is going to be a very, you will have already have guessed this answer, but it is the truth, which is I saw Jaws when I was 10 and could not go into the swimming pool without that irrational feeling that like, yeah, I can see the bottom until I can't. And when the lights go off, now I'm suddenly convinced that Jaws is under there and it's rising up through the fathoms to drag me down. Like I just was like, something about Jaws and the water, it didn't matter if it was the ocean or if it was a pool or it was a bathtub. It just got in my brain and I couldn't get it out. And so for me, Jaws was a huge one. Yeah.
Right. You're not wrong because it also affected me.
Good.
Yeah. Like no, the ocean and I are not friends.
No.
You know, I've seen enough movies to know it ends badly.
It ends badly. No, Don't do it.
And also, this movie is going to affect how does it feel for you to have like a new generation of like kids that are going to watch this and be like, I'm not going in the pool.
It's a dream come true. Because maybe someone will be. I mean, I barely dare to dream that this could be someone's Jaws because Jaws is such a masterpiece. But maybe to some person, it will do for the pool what Jaws did for the ocean. And that would be like so fun because listen, we should be scared of the pool. Oh, the pool ain't safe. So I'm helping people. The pool is not safe. No, it's not.
You know, anyway, that's a whole nother thing. What do you think it is about the horror genre and scary movies that people just love coming back to them and they love the genre?
Well, we don't have saber-toothed tigers anymore. And so we're not getting hunted and killed on a daily basis by a natural predator. But we have all these built-in systems in our biological systems in our body, like the fight or flight and adrenaline release that were built to protect us. We don't get to use them anymore. So I think horror is like a beautiful way to tap into that feeling of life or death and that chemical release. But you get to do it with other people and you're safe and you don't actually get killed in the theater, but you have that, it simulates that feeling of like life or death, which we don't really, most of us don't live in a life or death world anymore. Some people still do, sadly, but most of us don't. So I think horror is like a beautiful and communal way to tap into that feeling.
If someone, hypothetically, has not seen many horror films, scary movies, what's like the 3 off the top of your head that you're like, for the love of God, watch these?
Okay, let's go. There's a Japanese ghost film called Kwaidan, which I love. It's a little more obscure, but like it rules. Let's go Society. Yeah, see, that which is also like a really messed up, bizarre kind of social commentary, body horror thing. And then, I mean, if you haven't seen The Thing, you obviously have to see that. I would also say like the 1982 Possession I'd throw in there. I'm going a little off the beaten path. I'm assuming people have seen The Shining. I'm assuming people have seen Jaws. I'm assuming people have seen Ringu and other classics. So I'm taking us a little more into like Qui-Gon, Possession, Society territory, and Night of the Hunter. I'd also say Night of the Hunter, not totally a straight horror, but horrific and hugely influential to me. 1955 Robert Lawton film, Night of the Hunter. Big plug.
I love talking about the editing process because it's where it all comes together.
Yes.
So you screen this for your friends and family or Blumhouse or whoever.
Yep.
What did you learn from those early screenings that impacted the finished film?
It was honestly just finding the balance of the pace of scares and when they come. And I think honestly for us, it was, you're going to get such a pressure in this type of movie to be like, jump scare, jump scare, jump scare, jump scare, jump scare. And it's like, there's jump scares in this movie, and I think there's some good ones. But I think it was actually just owning the movie that we wanted to make and that we shot, which is like, it's build up, big scares, but slow burn tension too, and creepy dread and creepy mystery. And sometimes like if you don't force a jump scare, let the movie be, let the movie breathe. And I think in editing, that was a real balance just to find the trust in the movie, just to trust the movie, let it breathe when it wants to breathe. And the scares are going to hit even harder when they do come. That's my feeling.
So when I was watching it last night, I think I may have noticed a few things in the darkness in the background. And so I'm just curious, how many things like that should people be looking for?
Yes.
And do you want to give any teases as to maybe where people should look?
So yes, keep your eyes open in the background of the area surrounding the pool, because we can, that there's stuff to look for. Also, I have a cameo in the movie in the deep water where we face the throng of the that world. I won't say too much about it, but I'm a part of that set piece. And so if you look closely, you can see also that tidbit there. I also would just say listen. There's a mythology thing that I would say listen closely to, because there's kind of a setup for what I want to do in the sequel if we get the chance to do a sequel that's alluded to by one of the side characters that is about the history of That I'm like, that's where I'd like to take the next installment. And I won't say more than that.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Okay.
Listen, great meeting you.
Yes,
I really do hope it's a huge hit for you.
Thank you so much.
And have a fantastic day.